What's up, guys? Welcome to Among the Fence. My name is Aaron, and if it's your first time seeing one of my videos, I'd like to welcome you to my channel where I do music reviews and we just chill and talk about all the things that we love or hate. And if you got anything you want me to review, new, old, album, EP, whatever, leave a comment below letting me know what it is, and I will get you squared away. But for today's review, we're going to be checking out the new album 400 Pound Back Squat by Bilmuri. Bilmuri is the indie pop alternative project of Johnny Franck, who is one of the guitar players, musicians, songwriters from the band Attack Attack a very long time ago. He started it back in 2016, and he currently has 11 albums. EPs, people consider them albums, EPs, just because they're like 5 to 7 songs and anywhere between like 20 to 25 minutes long. I guess I could start considering them to be albums now, but because they're so short, he pumps them out so quick. But because I'm considering them to be albums, I'm going to change the scoring on them, which normally EPs are 5 out of 5 or whatever. It's on a 5 scale rating. I'm going to bump it up to a 10 just to mix things up a little bit. And 400 Pound Back Squat is kind of a spoof on like fitness videos, specifically over the course of maybe like a year or so. But a lot of his music videos, it shows like older style fitness videos, but it kind of like became a huge thing during the pandemic where people were just posting all kinds of fitness stuff, and like all of the names of all of the songs are kind of making fun of them and they're silly. I don't know. Johnny Franck is very carefree, doesn't take himself too seriously whatsoever, just loves to have fun, and that translates incredibly well into his music. Even though this album is very heavy on touching on different subjects as like depression and loneliness and anxiety, and it's very deep, but at the same time, it's kind of lighthearted sounding at the same time. The album opens up with Lord Farquaadzilla, which features Jonathan Young, has very strong Weekend vibes to it. The chorus has a signature dreamy sound that Bilmuri is very well known for. The chiming guitar and the synth effects add some glassiness, and you can really feel just, it's got like a happy, feel-good presence to the song. And the breakdown, which features Jonathan Young, is very heavy and it's aggressive and rough with his distorted vocals, and it's also very groovy before it goes into a spacey bridge before going into a final chorus. The second song, A Cowboys Heavy Load, which features Kayako, I believe that's how it's pronounced, and honestly, like, the key components of the song are Kayako and the pan flute. I don't know why, I'm just a sucker for kind of off the wall instruments being thrown into alternative rock and metal songs and stuff, and the pan flute just hits just right. The vocals throughout the verses are absolutely incredible. The music has a feeling of melancholy, which fits the lyrics perfectly, which are kind of based around depression and other mental health issues. Kayako sounds fantastic in verse 2, and honestly, she matches Johnny Franck's emotion perfectly, but I'd be willing to say that she outperforms him, and I'd even say that most of the vocal features on this record outperform him, and they just sound so good. Johnny's really good at making his vocal features just have a huge presence, and he's not afraid to be like, dang, this person's better than me, and like kind of knock them down a little or put them in a different place to where they don't take away too much from the song. But they don't. Even though I'd say they outperform them, they don't take away from any of the songs. They just fit everything perfectly, and he's just such a good editor. The only weird part about this song, I would say, is the guitar solo. It's kind of like borderline twangy, like country rock sounding in a way, but just the mixing on the guitar solo sounds a little weird. One of my favorite names of the songs on this album is Jacked and Stacked Mass Master. The chord progression in the intro is beautiful. I'm not really a huge fan of the vocal effects and the verses, if I'm going to be completely honest. The hook in the chorus is fantastic, and there's like a sample of Ronnie Coleman. If anybody doesn't know who he is, he was a multiple-time bodybuilding champion, just a huge dude, and he says a lot of funny stuff. And there's a little clip of him in there before hitting like a dubstep style breakdown that also comes in the outro as well. Another cool song name is Level 99 Roid Mage, which features Seneca. It opens up like an 80s style soundtrack movie thing, and the synth beat in the intro carries all the way through the verse. The duet with Seneca in the pre-chorus and the chorus adds a lot of dynamics and a lot of depth to the song. The chorus has a stronger presence to it, and it ends with a sax solo, which again, I'm an absolute sucker for it. And Johnny brings out the big guns in the breakdown with some distorted vocals. The last chorus, which features a vocal synth choir kind of thing, makes it sound so huge and epic, especially with Seneca's vocals thrown in there as well. My second favorite song on the album is Large Throbbing Positive Mindset, which features Treya. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. The music in the intro is honestly kind of wild, and the verse has a lot of atmosphere to it. The vocal effect in the verse becomes stronger and stronger, almost becomes too much before it makes a very smooth transition into the chorus, which brings out a lot more instruments like the guitar and the drums. Treya's vocals and lyrics in verse 2 will put a smile on your face. The breakdown has like a suspenseful buildup to it, and then it has like an industrial kind of sound, and the lyrics show a lot of frustration and honestly show some anxiety throughout. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of themes on anxiety and depression, and this is a strong one for that. My favorite song on the album is Keeping It Beefy, which starts out with like this water drop effect kind of thing, and then it erupts into this wall of sound, but then it goes into the verses, which are they're very mellow comparatively. And again, the chorus is anxiety themed with lyrics saying, I want to let go for a second, and I want to know what it's like to not be afraid. And honestly, all the listeners, me included, can relate to this in some way, shape, or form, I'm sure, especially going over the past year. It's just, there's so much vulnerability, and it's very authentic, and the lyrics are very legit throughout this entire song. The whole thing is just so relatable. And then the sax solo hits very hard as the emotion just keeps rising and rising. This is just such a powerful song, and I love how you just get to see a little bit of Johnny Franck in this. Honestly, throughout this entire record, you get to see him. He doesn't hold anything back. And I feel like on this, he's really speaking from his heart on it. The closing track is titled Relaxing Box Fan Sleep Ambient Sounds number 3. And honestly, I wouldn't have been surprised if Johnny added some kind of weird box fan sound to this song. It starts out with like a 80s party vibe to it, and the chorus is big, and Johnny really pushes his vocals in this song, and the passion is just phenomenal. It just sounds so huge. There's just a lot of emotion coming out in his vocals alone, and you could tell that he put a lot of work in this song, or at least he put a lot of thought into this song. I'm sure a lot of this stuff probably just comes to him naturally, but he really thought it out. Like, I love how the refrain after the verse comes in really big for just 1 second, and then it goes into the more chill pre-chorus, kind of tricking you before it goes into the gigantic chorus. It really keeps you on your toes, and it keeps you guessing. And this is a fantastic closing track just because it has a lot of closure wrapped around it. So I'm going to be a little bit harder on this record just because I'm giving it an album rating from 0 to 10. But like, what is there really bad about this record, if we're going to be completely honest? It is beautiful sounding from start to finish. Every single thing in the production is just so glassy. It sounds so crystal clear. All the sounds are huge. The synths sound fantastic. All the guitar chords and progressions sound beautiful. It's got kind of a weird chorus thrown in there, but I mean, all the saxophone solos make up for it. The friggin' pan flute sounds so good. All the features, which I also like how Johnny doesn't feature really huge artists all the time. I mean, he's had like Tillian from Dance Gavin Dance, but a lot of these people, like when I looked them up, I had no idea like who they were. Some of them have been around for a little bit, like Kayako's been around, but Treya and Seneca, they don't have a whole lot of stuff on their Spotify, like maybe an EP or a couple singles here and there. So he's kind of promoting the smaller artists, which I love a lot. And it's just such a real album. There's real emotion in it. There's real vulnerability. He's basically just telling you all of his anxiety and depression, mental health issues, but he's also getting it all out there, which I'm sure helps him a lot too. And kind of a side note before I give my rating, if you watch this on YouTube, it's like the premiere thing or whatever. It's like a 20-minute long video of just the whole album straight through. Once you get to the end of it, it has Johnny Franck being very sincere and thanking all the listeners for listening to the record and supporting him. And you can see his eyes get a little watery, and you could just tell there's a lot of appreciation and just us listening and giving him the chance to do what he does, which is just make music. So with all that said, I got to give 400 Pound Back Squat by Bilmuri a 9 out of 10. I first heard of Bilmuri through a request on his 9th album, I believe it is. It's How Rich Sips, which I absolutely loved. I still listen to that record all the time. And then he came out with Eggy Pocket very shortly after. And while I really liked that record, it didn't really live up to Rich Sips. But now 400 Pound Back Squat just pushes him up even higher. But I want to know what you guys think. What did you guys think of 400 Pound Back Squat? And if you haven't listened to it, go ahead and give a couple songs a listen. It's only like a 20-minute long album. And let me know what you would rate it. And if you enjoyed this review, please don't forget to give it a like. Leave a comment below letting me know what I should review next. If you want to help support me and my channel and just make me feel good about myself, please consider subscribing and ringing the bell icon. That way you don't have to go searching for my stuff. It just pops up on your phone right there. Helps me to help you. And I hope you guys all have a good rest of your day or night whenever you happen to be watching this. And I will talk to you guys next time.
I was